everybody. I am back again. All right, in this part of the lesson, we're going to rename or convert or change fractions this time to percents. Okay, so right here it shows you to write a fraction as a percent, you're going to write a proportion. A proportion is nothing other than an equivalent fraction. All right, it's an equivalent fraction. That's what a proportion is. Okay, we'll get more into proportions later. All right, so we want to write 9/20ths as a percent. Now remember, a percent is always out of, let me hear everybody say 100. Percent is out of 100. So what we need to do is we need to find an equivalent fraction using 100 as our denominator. So it shows you right here. So 9/20ths equals how many 100ths? There's a couple ways you can do this. One, you can, since we're trying to find the missing numerator here, what multiplied to 20 equals 100? Well, you can count on your fingers, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, it gets you 5. So when you multiply 5 to the denominator, you also have to multiply 5 to the numerator. And when we multiply 9 times 5, we get 45. So then it shows you right here. I just did that right there. And so 9/20ths equals 45 100ths, which equals 45%. Okay? All right, we're going to practice a couple right here. Oh, let me show you another way to do it. Let me show you another way. So if we have 9/20ths equals how many 100ths? Okay? Anytime you're solving a proportion or equivalent fraction, you're trying to find a missing number, what you do is you can cross multiply. So if you have a calculator, okay, and you're not supposed to be using a calculator on this, but just for future reference, if you multiply, cross multiply, 100 times 9, we get 900. And then we want to divide that by 20. Okay, so you multiply and then divide what's left. Well, since we have a 0, and I've showed you this before, since we have a 0 in the divisor and the dividend, we can scratch those out. So now all we're doing is dividing 2 into 90. So 2 goes into 90 how many times? 2 times what is close to 9? Okay, we know that 2 times 4 is close to 9. And if you need review on division, once you determine that, now we multiply 2 times 4, and we get 8. We write that down there below the 9. And then we subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. Then we bring down our 0. Now we say 2 times what is 10, or close to 10? Or 2 goes into 10 how many times? And in this case, it goes evenly. So 2 times 5 is 10. And therefore, we have our missing numerator, which is 45. So that's a whole other way of doing it. So whichever way you like, it doesn't matter how you get the answer, as long as you can figure it out. All right, let's do some practice over here, and we'll do this a couple ways also. All right, so here we have 5 out of 10. So 5 out of 10 is the same thing as saying 5 out of 10. Now remember, to get it to a percent, it has to equal something over 100. So, the one way we can multiply 10 times what is 100. Okay, we all know that 10 times 10 is 100. Remember, when we multiply the denominator by a number, we have to multiply, in order to make it equivalent, the numerator by the same exact number. And 5 times 10 is 50. If you want to do it by cross multiplying, 100 times 5 is 500, and then we divide that by 10. All right, we have zeros in the divisor and the dividend. Okay, 1 goes into 50 how many times? 50, and therefore there's our answer. Okay, so the answer here would be 50%. Now, the next one is a little bit harder because 7 out of 28 equals how many hundreds? The reason why this one's a little bit harder, and you can't do this, is because you cannot multiply anything to 28 to get 100. So we can't do that one that way. So this one we have to cross multiply. So then 100 times 7 is 700. And then we divide that by 28. Okay? So here's our long division. 28, we can't divide 28 into 7. So nothing's going to go there. But we can by 70. So how many times can we multiply? What number can we multiply to 28 to get to 70, or at least close to 70?
Oh, shoot.
So if you don't know how to divide, you can just 28 times 2. Okay, that's 16. Carry the 1, that's 56. Okay, maybe we can go a little higher. 28 times 3. Okay, 8 times 3 is 24. Carry the 2, that's 6, that's 7, that's 84. That's too much. So we have to use the 2. So 28 will go into 70 2 whole times. And then we multiply 28 times 2. And we already know we get 56. Then we're going to subtract. Okay, 10 minus 6 is 4. Then 6 minus 5 is 1. So now we have 14. So now we have to bring down our 0. All right, so 20, now we're looking at 28 times what is close to 140. Okay, well, we've already done 28 times 3 is 84. Well, let's see, what's 28 times 4? 8 times 4 is 32. Carry the 3. All right, 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3. That's 112. Okay, getting closer. But can we go further? So let's try 28 times 5. And 8 times 5 is 40. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 4 is 14. There's our 140. So the 5 goes there. So it's 25. So really, that's the only way you can do it. So you have to know how to divide. But if you have a calculator, you can just do 100 times 7 equals 700. And then you divide by 28, and that will get you 25, which is 25%. All right, I'll go ahead and erase this. Okay, so go ahead and try. Give it some room. Go ahead and try this one on your own. So you want to go ahead and try 7 out of 10 to make that a percent. That's an easy one, and it's just like that one up there. So 7/10 equals how many 100s? Go ahead and pause the video and work that out. All right, so now that you're back, 10 times 10 is 100. 7 times 10 is 70, which is 70%, because 70 out of 100 is 70%. So that if you got a 70 out of 100 questions right on a test, you would have a 70%. All right, try this one. 3/5 equals how many 100s? And remember, we have to have the 100 in the denominator in order to get our percent, because our percent is always out of 100. So pause the video and do this. All right, welcome back. So now, what can we multiply to 5 to get 100? Well, we did that one up here. Oh, no, my bad. Never mind, scratch that. I think we did that somewhere else. But, so you can count by 5, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. We know that 5 times 20 is 100. We multiply 20 to the numerator. Okay, that doesn't look, might look a little hard, but all you got to do is multiply 3 times 2 and you get 6, and then you add the 0, which is 60. So that's 60%. Oopsie. Okay. All right, right, so we have 2 left. Again, pause the video and then work it out. And then come back and check it and see if you did it correctly. Make sure you show your work and look at the work. So 2 divided by 20 equals how many 100s? Okay, so if 5 times 20 is 100, then we know that 20 times 5 is 100. So if we multiply 5 to the denominator, we also have to multiply 5 to the numerator, and 2 times 5 is 10. So if you got 2 out of 20 right on a test, you would get a 10%. All right, now here's another tricky one. I want you to try it. Go ahead and pause the video. Try this one. 9 out of 12. What would your score be on a quiz if there were 12 questions and you got 9 right? Okay, if you have a calculator, it's simple. You just do 9 divided by 12, and then you get your answer. But since you're not allowed to use a calculator on this portion, we need to do it this way. So since we cannot multiply 12 to anything to get 100, we need to cross multiply. So 100 times 9 is 900, and then we have to divide by 12. Okay, well, you can't divide 12 into 9, so nothing's going to go up here. But we do need to decide 12 times what is close to 90. So get your scratch paper. Get your scratch paper. And I'm just going to I'll just come up here. Use scratch paper up here. Or, let's see. Okay. Well, so we're going to come over here. We're going to do, all right, so 12 times, so we already know, a lot of us know our 12s tables. So we know that 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 3 is 36. Okay, 12 times 4 is 48. What's 12 times 5? You guys know what 12 times 5 is? 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1, that's 60. All right, so we're almost there. Can we go further? What's 12 times 6? 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1, that's 72. Getting closer, but can we take it a step further? Can we multiply 12 times 7 and get close to 90? So 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. All right, 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 84. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got that far, but can we add 12 more to 84? So 12 times 8, I'm going to come up here. So 12 times 8 is 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 96. Okay, that's too big, so we can't use 12 times 8. So we have to use the 7. So 12 will go into 90 7 times. Now 12 times 7 is 84. Running out of room here. And then when we subtract, okay, 10 minus 4 is 6. And then we bring down our 0. And with all of the work that we did, 12 times what is 60? Well, you come back up here, and we know that 12 times 5 is 60, so 12 will go into 60 5 times. Therefore, if you scored 9 out of 12 on a quiz, your grade would be 75%. And if you look here, here are all the answers written neatly. Okay, can you see that? All right, so check your work. If you have any questions, pause the video. I will come over. I will help you. I will sit down with you. We're going to figure this out. All right. And the very last thing we're going to do is we're going to apply it. Okay, how can we use this? Why do we need this? So if you look at the table shows what fraction of a vegetable. So we have beans, corn, tomatoes, and other. So what fraction of a vegetable garden contains each kind of vegetable? How are we going to change that to a percent? What percent? So here we have beans. Beans is 1/5. Now I want you guys to try these on your own. Try all 4 of them on your own. And then come back and check it. And you're doing it the same exact way. All right, so welcome back. So you have 1/5 equals how many 100s? Okay, 5 times, we know that 5 times 20 from the last one is 100. And then 1 times 20 is 20. Therefore, the beans, the garden is 20% beans. All right, now we have the corn. Corn is half. That one should be pretty easy. So you should know that if something is half off, it's automatically 50%. You should know that that's 50%. 2 times 50 is 100. 1 times 50 is 50. Therefore, 50 hundredths is 50%. So there's 50% of the garden is corn. Now we have tomatoes. Some of you guys might already know this and not even have to figure it out. Some of you already know that 1/4 is 25%. So 4 times 25, because there's 4 quarters in a dollar. Multiply 25 there, and we get 25 100ths, which equals 25%. So now we have corn at 50%, tomatoes at 25, and we have beans at 20. So you can probably guess what the other one is. We have no idea. So what do you think this would be? Because remember, 100% of the garden. So how would we figure out 100% of the garden? I'd like you to just kind of jot that down on the paper. How would you figure that out? All right, so now we know that corn is 50% and the tomatoes are 25% and that the beans are 20%. If we add all of those, we get, that's 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 95% of the garden. So what percent does that leave left over? 5. Because 95 plus 5 is 100. And then when we go back, let's check my work and make sure I did it right. Okay, we're going to go back and check. All right, so beans, 20%. Corn, 50%. Tomatoes, 25%. And then what's left over? 5%. Yay! I got it right. Okay. I'm excited. All right, so that's it for that part. And we'll move on to the next part. All right, thanks for being here, guys. Let me know if you need any help.